Okay, so I just got finished volunteering at the shelter that I work at, Ave Maria. And I noticed something. They let me come in there with my shirt on backwards, never said a thing, never uttered a word. They never said anything. Um, I also noticed like it's just been a lot of weirdness with them. But anyhow, 'cause I didn't make this video just to talk about my shirt. Um, my mentor, who is the CEO of it, wanted me to come in today, make sure that I came in today, even though I had some other issues that I really needed to take care of. But I said yes because, that's my commitment. But I'm learning to prioritize. Um, we had a young group that was coming in from, I guess, Holy Cross or something like that. So they, came in and all I was supposed to do is show them the showers and help them, tell them to clean because they wanted to serve and whatever. So um, let me first start off by saying that, okay, when I get up there and it's Friday, everyone plays a part into the shelter. I'm not saying that no one's above anyone or anyone below anyone. We might come from different social economic backgrounds, from diverse cultures, but everyone is has something special and important to contribute to this, and that's why I really like serving there. Is because for one, it's something that God has ordained me to do. Um, that is where my gifts and my talents is at, serving people. I've never been the one that's like too electronic or whatever. Well, I do like electronics, but not like to the point where I want to have a job that's dealing with electronics. No. So I was the one to serve people. And secondly, like I said, it's my gift. It's my gift. So I get up there and they had this whole list of who was going to do what, who was going to do this, who was going to do that, which is perfectly fine. It's great. You need it, right? So when I'm there, let me tell you what I do when I'm there. You know, I'm sorry. When I am there, and I'm like partially taking off my shirt, but yeah, I gotta take something underneath. But when I'm there, what I'm doing is helping people with getting their Social Security thing straight, helping them get on, getting ready to take a shower, organizing. Oh, excuse me. Organizing clothes. Sometimes light food preparation because the CEO, she usually, if it's like a heavy cooking that's inside, she's usually doing it, or someone is catering or bringing in the donation of food. Um, Sorting out mail, organizing mail, passing out mail, um, helping people with unemployment benefits, helping people get jobs, like a job employment specialist. I also clean outside. This is full time, like day shelter. All that stuff is donation. So you have to do a lot of man work, a lot of outside things. And the main thing that I do that most people don't do, and I know people like, oh yeah, it doesn't look so good or whatever. And sometimes I have to be careful with that because some people would try to associate me being like the only. Well, it's two other people who volunteered that are black in nature or of African descent. Well, I guess you could say African descent, but I'm Haitian, whatever. And well, that's not Caucasian. Let's just say that. But what I do is I clean the bathroom. So I clean the bathroom and the toilets and the stalls and everything else. And a lot of people, it's always needed to be done, but there's always people who they don't feel like that is worth their standards or their time, and then there's some people who would love to do it that volunteer there, but they literally physically cannot do it. So me being just the person that I am, and it's something that I have a passion for. I have a passion for, especially cleaning the bathrooms. Like that's my sanctuary. When I go home, my bathroom is sanctuary. A lot of people say the kitchen and all that. Yes, I love to cook. I love to even do recipes and all that. But my sanctuary mostly is the bed and mostly the bathroom where the shower is in the tub. And I feel like I get so rejuvenated there. I say my prayers there. That's like anytime I'm feeling like I'm low, anytime I'm feeling high, Usually I go into that room. If I need to have a word with God, I go into my house a lot, but in any different place. But mainly, when I start my day, I'll pray by my bed, but I also pray in the bathroom. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this, and God put it on my heart to just clean the stalls. And people were laughing at me and saying a lot of things, even some of the volunteers. But I remember what God said, and it was like a whisper in my ear, and it's a scripture, and it said, if you will be diligent over a few things, He'll make you ruler over many. So I just took pride in that. I just scrub it with a toothbrush. I go and make sure that the containers of shampoo and conditioner are refilled, even though they get their personal ones. There's also some upstairs. Making sure that I don't miss any nooks and crannies and things like that, because I understand, the importance of having that. A lot of people take the small things for granted, and it's the small things that lead you up to the big things, and I think that's what God was training me on. So, okay, so the reason why I say this is because now I've been doing this for like 4 years. There have been a lot of people that came and gone, like, of course you're going to have that, moving, everything, different transitions in life. So my mentor said that she wanted me to show them how to clean the bathrooms and all this, and that the other volunteers are going to do all the other stuff and stay indoors, and I'm going to do the outside work and all that. No biggie, fine. So today comes, and no, let me tell you, go back. Yesterday, as I'm going in, I get this little thing. I get this, I cleaned the bathroom downstairs. And I'm like, what the heck? It was kind of sarcastic, so I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I know, based off of how long I've been there, if anyone's like, if they're talking about you, and you're going to have that any time, whether you're doing good or bad, it's going to be, so you can't get upset with that, which I did, and I was just like, where is this coming from, don't want to be pessimistic, but I know, based off of patterns. So, yeah, the whole thing, and then the whole, I overheard one of the volunteers, like, that'll get her out of the way, so she won't have to do this, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, okay, am I bothered to some people, or what? Like, what is going on? So, I didn't worry about it. I felt a little bit tingling, but, I've been trying to listen to the Holy Spirit more, and to have Him to lead me and guide me, because sometimes the enemy will put people in your way to discourage you from doing what God told you. And He'll do it to the point where it's not an outright offense, but it'll get you something tickling just enough to drift you off. Sometimes we look for the big things, but sometimes the enemy deals diligently. That's why God tells you to deal with things diligently. Just like the scripture that He had in my head. If you would be diligent over a few things, I'll make you ruler over many. People who are rich or people who are prosperous, period, you have to be diligent with not with every nook and cranny, but for the most part, you have to be very careful over the small things, because you understand that the small trip-ups are the things that lead up to big disasters. It's always small things that lead up to big disasters. That's just with me when I went through my whole issue dealing with toxic people. It was small things that I overlooked that could have been prevented a long time ago, and then I let it go off to draw to something big. So, yeah. So I listened to that, and I was like, God, is that for real? Like, and then God reminded me, like, okay, they didn't create you, I created you, and I had to get into that. Like, when I first got here, a lot of people did not like me. A lot of people were very mean to me, very mean-spirited to me. But God showed me some people who were very kind-hearted, and they had His Spirit lingering in them, and they, went past and above and beyond to help me and to encourage me and to motivate me. So I made a decision right then that I was going to trust God with my life and not be fearful of Him, even if I feel like I have the spirit of fear coming upon me, because it is a spirit, it's just not an emotion. That I will rebuke it, because He has not given me a spirit of fear, but a power of love and a sound mind. So yeah, I'm accepting in any ways. I said I was going to serve Him until the day I die. And especially with this whole shelter thing, this was a vision that He gave me a long time ago. and to see it manifest and to see it, the actual what I saw, like it's just so crazy. Like God never lies, and I shouldn't have never doubted him anyway. So I'm trying not to doubt him ever again. So that's faith. I'm gonna go without seeing because I know, I believe in my heart. So I said, okay, I'm gonna be diligent over a few things. So when I got in the morning, I made sure that I came in 10 minutes early. My shirt was on backwards. They didn't acknowledge it and tell me like my shirt was on backwards, but they're all grinning and saying little stuff and all this other crazy stuff. And my mentor comes out and says, I didn't know that, all the stuff that we do, I didn't know that you didn't know, who we are, what do we do, blah, blah, this. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I didn't know that you weren't Catholic. And because I told her I worked at a Lutheran a Lutheran faith based community organization. Like it deals with people with developmental disabilities and stuff like that. And I told her she thought I was Lutheran. I was like, how did you think I was Lutheran? First of all, I don't believe in any kind of. I believe in God. I believe there's a heaven and a hell. I believe everything that is in that Bible, word from word. When you come to as far as religions, are you a Catholic? Are you a Protestant? Are you an Eastern Orthodox? I don't go into those categories. I don't believe into defining myself in a box. I believe that I'm a true follower and a disciple of Christ. So I'm going to follow it the best way that I can. And by me just opening my mouth and saying that I'm this doesn't validate me as being that. I believe that you being a true follower of Christ is by your actions, by how you react to things, how you deal with situations in your life. Because there were a lot of times that Jesus Christ came in the flesh and literally had to go through things that were not very pleasant, very good. He had to deal with a lot of harsh conditions, dealing with people who had a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of issues that came across that wasn't even his, and he didn't have to do all the things that he did, but he did, and he through that it was a living testimony to me how to react to people, how to react to things. So I think that's a living, just like the Bible to me, it's a living word. So I'm going to live that out. I'm not going to define myself by saying, I'm a Christian. No, nowhere in the Bible did God say I'm a Eastern Orthodox Christian. I'm a Catholic. I'm this, I'm that. No. God was saying that he was the living flesh and he did what he was supposed to do. He did what was right and what was just and pleasing. And people started following on. And that got to people believing and reaching the masses to go into a higher plane and be better and to look for something better than what they had. So that's my whole thing on that. It's like 13 minutes. But I really have to explain that because it's very, very important. And I told her, my response to her was that I'm not Lutheran. I don't, even although my father was Catholic, I don't consider myself Catholic, Lutheran, Baptist, anything like that. I consider myself as a follower of Christ, and I believe based off of the actions and how God uses me is going to be the way that he captures people, With that being said, I get up, because I wasn't even going to talk about that, but it makes a difference later on. So when I get up, I was like, I got there early or whatever. Shirt was on backwards. They didn't even tell me. I didn't even find out till I just was about to take this off. So I get there, we're waiting on the kids. They got there for like about an hour or something. So they wanted me to go outside and do the rounds, and then you're going to show them how to do the shower. And Vicky's going to handle everything else, and, all these other people are going to handle everything else. Fine. That's great for me because I know a lot about what I do. I take a lot of pride in it, so I try to learn the ins and outs. I've done a lot of tours for them, so I can tell them I know a lot about the organization, a lot about the history of it. Not only that, I know a lot about the history of the people that come in there, the backgrounds of it, the cleaning process, because I've been doing it for 4 years, just being diligent. I was at the bottom of the totem pole, and now I get to show people around. I get to tell a little bit more about the information. I go when my mentor is public speaking around people, I get to go and sit there. There was a time that people didn't even think that I would be that way, that I was so quiet that people didn't even think that I could speak, or let alone people didn't even think I could speak English. Like, that's how, like, yeah. So yeah, I go and take them. I go and we do the cleaning, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna go upstairs. By the time I go upstairs, the next tour, now they're supposed to be folding, doing all this other stuff. They're like, oh no, we're doing the showers, and I didn't have a problem with the showers, and I took all day to do the showers. I used to do them all the time before Belle did it, and I'm sitting here like, this never happened. But I was just like, God, how do you react to this? Because although I can say this is a lie and I would be telling the truth, what would be the best response to it? And God just let me know nothing. A lot of things show. When you put a lot of effort into things and you take very care and very diligence, your due diligence in things, people will see. And that's what a lot of people saw today. And it was like confirmation that, for one, never give up on your dreams. For two, what God says is so. I don't care who doubts you. What? Okay, I had a lot of people, when I told them about my vision, what God was showing me, like, literally, they were denying me, casting it down. Don't give your pearls to swine. Like, and some of them don't have to be, like, destined. They were trying to knock you down. Some of them just don't know. They haven't experienced it yet. God works in His own time, and then He knows when we are ready and when we're not. Yeah, and the third one is keep on campaigning. You'll get elected. If you keep campaigning, you'll get elected. My grandmother used to tell us that when we used to clown. Anytime we did something really bad, and she would usually, like, get us with a switch or something. First she'll talk to us, but then if we didn't listen, then we're going to get a pop. Then after that, we're going to get a switch or a belt. And a lot of people say, oh, that's child abuse. No, I don't really think so. It thankfully got me out of prison. Thankfully I never went to prison. I didn't, do all this crazy stuff. There's a lot of people who've been whipped by a switch and all that are in the incarcerated or whatever. But I'm saying, if you do things right, see, when I got whipped with a switch, I stopped getting whipped with a switch after, 7 years old, because I started learning to listen. When you just form, you don't have anything about order and structure and things like that. So that's what happened. So, yeah. So, that's what my grandma said. Keep campaigning, you'll get elected. Meaning, if you keep doing what you're doing, someone's gonna notice it. You keep being bad, someone's gonna get you. If you keep doing the right thing, you'll get elected. People will notice you. You don't have to go and make a big broadcast. When I first got here, I was just like, I had this big weight over my shoulders, because it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be talking about regaining stability to fight against homelessness, but God had already told me that He's going to show me how He's going to do it. He's going to use me. He's going to work through me. I'm going to see it firsthand. I asked God to see some of these things firsthand, and even though as it looked like it was painful, a lot of these things were blessings to me. Some of them were blessings in disguise. Well, all of them were blessings in disguise, but I mean, like, blessings as I saw them. And He lifts up, like I said, He lifts up the lowly, and He did that. He literally showed me that with my life, which what brought me here today, to make this video. Don't give up. Do not give up. I'm not saying I'm living a high life, not by any means. No. But I have peace, I have joy, I have comfort in knowing that I do have a Savior who lives, who reigns, who answers. He answers, and He hears you. He didn't turn a deaf ear. I really thought that God had turned a deaf ear to me, but what I've noticed is that He was right there listening the whole time. Not only that, He was preparing me. The reason why I didn't get a response quick, He was training me. He was preparing me for something greater. Had I stopped before all this happened, I wouldn't even have the confirmation in knowing that God is working, and not even seeing the promised land, understand to expect the promised land. It's a good thing to say, yeah, I'm expecting, but sometimes we get fragile and we freeze. Yeah, God has been showing me that. Like, no, And like I said, those people, those little individuals who are like teenagers, they're going off to high school, and they really enjoyed themselves as I was taking them down and doing the cleaning or whatever. And although we didn't clean the shower, I took them to the places that she was supposed to take her group to, and it got even better, you know. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so that's all I wanted to share with you. Also, is that I keep saying also, there's so much stuff. It's just coming to my head. Like God is really just, man, really preparing me. Um, Also, I wanted to remind people that God created you, not man. Um, a lot of people think that I'm not worthy of being in the position that I am, but God has ordained me to be. And when Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. Y'all heard this. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. No, Jesus. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So remember that. You have to remember that, because if you take your eyes off of God and start listening to these people, you'll start dwindling away and really start believing it. And that's what the enemy really wants you to do, to get off course. Because once you, I don't give a care who or what you are. If you're connected to God and you believe in God and you keep your eyes focused on God, can't nothing withstand that. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Okay? He's going to try. He want to kill you. But if you're connected to God, he can't kill you. And you stay focused, he can't kill you. Then he's going to try to steal. If you still being connected and he can't kill you, the next best thing is to steal. Steal your destiny. Steal your joy, steal your happiness, steal your family, the things that you love and the things that God has given you, willingly or unwillingly. And then to destroy, if he can't steal it, he's going to try to wreck it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I see that I can't break the bond that you have for your, or the love that you have for your mother. I can't change your mind. Then I'm going to go and mess with her and everyone around her so I can give her chaos. So then she be so stressed that I turn her against you, so that you can be separated. This is how the enemy works, and you have to be careful and be ready for the enemy's devices. You know, stay prayed up. And when I say stay prayed up, I mean, like, you know, get into your word. I mean, not saying prayers every day and saying it out loud. Sometimes, for the most time, I had to pray in the spirit. Return the sender, return the sender, return the sender in the name of Jesus. I had to reject, and I had to rebuke in the spirit, you know. So that's what God has been preparing for me. If this resonates with you, please take it. You know, you don't even have to like or share or anything like that, because it ain't even my job to do it. My job is to put out what God has given me, and hopefully whoever he wants to connect with it, let it be. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journeys to Jerusalem. Excuse me for the bonnet, but this is real life. Bye.